Welcome to VMblog's coverage of IGEL Now Next, taking place in Miami at the Fontainebleau. Today I have the pleasure of having ControlUp with us. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Who are you and what do you do at ControlUp?
All right, so my name is Joel Stocker. I run product marketing at ControlUp. So basically most of the content you see about ControlUp online and webinars, etc., that's me and my team. I've been with ControlUp for about 5 years. Before that, almost 19 years at Citrix. So I've been a long time in the EUC industry. So excited to talk a little bit about ControlUp today.
Great. Well, for people that haven't heard of ControlUp, which I'm sure most of our audience has probably heard of ControlUp, but give us kind of a quick overview of the company.
Absolutely. So ControlUp, we started 15 years ago, mostly focused on Citrix monitoring and remediation. So that is our roots, but over the last 15 years we've been kind of like expanding on what we can do for companies to basically cover the monitoring and improving the digital experience across the full digital workplace. So no matter if that is on the virtual side, virtual desktops, virtual apps, or if that is more on the traditional endpoint side, SaaS applications, regular applications, basically anywhere where an employee touches technology, we want to make sure that customers understand where there are issues, where there's friction, and of course, most importantly, give them the tools to improve it and so that users can be productive.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about your technology. What are some of the problems that your product solves?
Well, that can be many. It really depends. So we, if you look at our technology, we basically, first of all, what we talk about is the 3 C's. So we collect, connect, and correct. And the first C is about collecting the data. So we bring basically data, and that could be performance metrics, it could be employee sentiment, it could be availability data, it could be inventory about your applications. We basically bring that from no matter what environment you have into our platform. Then in the platform we let the users of our product connect the dots. So basically understand where there's issues, and it could be performance issues, it could be latency issues, it could be maybe outdated versions of applications, really depending on what kind of problem you're trying to solve. And then eventually the third C is the correct, and that is really fixing the problem. So no matter if that is remediation through a built-in action, bring in your own scripts, through a workflow, through remote assistance or patch management, we basically can fix that. And what kind of problems do we solve? Well, sometimes it's the unknown, but popular use cases are things like slow logon duration. It could be poor latency from remote work locations. It could be something that is becoming more and more of a problem is keeping up with vulnerabilities. So we're trying to really kind of focus on those areas where productivity is impacted and give IT teams the tools to quickly address those.
What would you say kind of makes your product unique?
So if you want to do it right, if you want to really be reducing the time that productivity is impacted, you need real-time data, and that's one of the things that is probably fairly unique. Our industry-leading 3-second collection interval. So when it comes to the most critical metrics, we almost have near real-time data collection from the device. That's the only way to really kind of react quickly, right? Because if you have to wait for 5 minutes for the data to be there and only then react, now you're already creating productivity gap for the end user. So our real-time monitoring is one of those areas. The other part is probably our automation capabilities. Now automation, what is there to automate? Well, a bunch of things. Now you always need to have some kind of action to fix something. Now we can automate that, but before you can do that, how are you going to actually fix it? So we also have a script library with over 500 different scripts that are the most common problems that our customers run into, which you then can quickly set up as an automation. So those are some of the unique areas for ControlUp.
Right. Well, since we're here at IGEL Now Next, tell us a little bit about how you partner together with IGEL.
Yeah, so our IGEL partnership actually goes back quite a few years, and that makes sense because we come from the VDI space, and we've always been focused not only on the backend infrastructure like Citrix and Omnissa and Microsoft AVD, but also making sure that we understand the client performance, so the endpoint device, no matter if that's a Windows device or a Mac device, but obviously also thin client devices. And this goes back to even when IGEL made their own thin client devices, but we continue that relationship to make sure that their customers, which are often our customers, or hopefully most of the time, also get insight into kind of like that last mile part. So between the endpoint device, no matter where it is, to the virtual app or desktop, and we integrate with, we have agents for the IGEL OS 12 and OS 11 platforms. We are in their app portal, so you can quickly kind of like just assign the ControlUp agent to the devices. And we continue looking for opportunities with them to work together.
And you talked a lot about data collection, and automation, which kind of brings me to the next topic, which is AI. A lot of people are utilizing AI or incorporating it into the products. How is ControlUp seeing the AI advancing?
Yeah, so I think there's some interesting things going on. So first of all, I was doing a presentation here earlier, and I talked about I'm from a certain generation, right? I love my dashboards, right?
Right.
I'm using AI more and more in my own job, but if I'm looking for a very particular piece of information, then for example, chatbot is very usable, but we do want to kind of like balance between the more traditional way of looking at data and bringing in more and more AI to help people prioritize things, automate things, and that goes beyond the chatbot. And I think people have been, it took some time that people got comfortable with automation, right? Like basically giving away the control and letting the system handle it. And I think we're still in the early days of AI, where AI is very useful, and we do that as well, to give recommendations about, hey, this is how you might solve a problem. This is maybe an automation you could consider to fix this in the future. But it is still, at the point where it's more kind of like suggestions or recommendations to, instead of like letting AI handle it all. That is something that we're like developing more and more, but I think that, at this stage it's mostly, these are the troubleshooting steps that you can, use to fix this particular issue, this slowness, this slow logon duration, this, bad performance or something like that.
Well, for people that don't have the pleasure of being in Miami with this great weather and such a great location, what's the best way for them to find out more about ControlUp?
Well, there's of course our website, ControlUp.com. From there, you have many different ways to look at our information. We have a great blog with both technical as well as thought leadership content. We have a podcast. We of course have a YouTube channel. But you can always reach out to us, either myself, Joel at ControlUp.com, but you can also leave your name on the website. You can also start a trial, so you don't have to talk to us. You can literally go there, fill in some details. You get an immediate trial for 21 days, full functionality. So if people want to try that, I welcome them to our website.
Great. Well, it was a pleasure speaking with you, and we look forward to the rest of the show.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.